So what does it mean to be Louisiana Creole? Being Louisiana Creole often means that you are a descendant of the colonial inhabitants of the colony of Louisiana. Now, the colony of Louisiana was owned originally by France and then Spain and then France again, who sold it to the United States. Now, these people were Latin speaking people, meaning often Spanish or French or Creole, um, and they were often Catholic. So, a lot of Louisiana Creole families today are, in fact, still Catholic. Another question is, are Louisiana Creoles black, mixed, or their own group? So, Louisiana Creole is not a race, it is an ethnic group of people, and it does not require for you to be racially black, racially white, or anything in between. You can be anything in between. You can be monoracially black, you could be monoracially white, you could be Native American, you could be mixed with black and white, you could be mixed with black and Native American. There is no racial cutoff line. Another question is, how are Creoles different from Cajuns? So there's a saying that all Cajuns are Creoles, but not all Creoles are Cajuns. Because keep in mind, Louisiana Creole means to be the descendant of the inhabitants of colonial Louisiana. That includes Cajuns. However, Cajuns have a sort of alternate history that ties them back to Nova Scotia. They were in Nova Scotia and they were exiled from Nova Scotia in about 1775. They first went to Saint Domingue, which is Haiti, and then they came to Louisiana. Now, when they came to Louisiana, they picked up the local Creole culture as well as certain ways of speaking French. People call it Cajun French. Is I think the correct name for it is Louisiana French. But yes, all Cajuns are Creoles, but they do have a different origin spot that starts them in Nova Scotia, even though 200 years before being in Nova Scotia, they were in France. Another question is, how can you be Creole if you don't speak French or Creole language? So a lot of times it is not Creoles people fault that they don't speak French or Creole, because in the 1920s, Louisiana officially made English the official language of the state, and so French was barred from being taught in schools. And a lot of people simply stopped teaching their kids Creole and French because they didn't want their kids to be discriminated against. They wanted them to have the best future possible. They didn't want them to be looked at as being unintelligent. So that's why a lot of families didn't pass down a language. But there still are people who have their grandparents, great grandparents, or even parents that speak the language. There are some young folk that still speak the language as well. But there are efforts to preserve the language and get more of us young people speaking it. But it